Jubilee is a YouTube channel with over 8 million subscribers, and its only purpose is to provide content that provokes understanding and create human connection. That's what they said, not me. I'm just being very clear on what it says on their website. To me, Jubilee is a great channel to get your daily dose of anger. Jubilee has this series called The Middle Ground, and they will bring people on with opposite opinions to discuss a particular topic or debate an issue. The channel welcomes you with episodes such as Alpha Male versus Beta Male, Black Conservatives versus White Liberal, which by the way was an amazing yet infuriating entertaining episode that I encourage everyone to watch. They got an episode called Black Conservatives versus Black Liberals, LGBTQIA versus former LGBTQIA, liberal gays versus conservative gays, police versus criminals, and the list goes on. I just mentioned a few episodes I watched myself and enjoyed thoroughly enough to the point that I had to replace 4 laptops due to my anger outburst. It doesn't happen often, but when it happens, I get angry. I have no idea why I'm sweating. These lights are crazy. And you are guaranteed to get pissed off no matter what side you are on. Money back guaranteed. Yet, there is something so demented and satisfying to purposely put yourself in a constant state of anger. So get your popcorn ready, sit back and relax as your friendly neighborhood half-breed reacts to the episode that I'm sure will require lots of mental gymnastics to understand a particular side. And I want you to guess which side made more sense at the end. So without further ado, let's break down the Jubilee episode called Liberal versus Conservative. Wait for it. Lesbians. I love lesbians, I really do. It's my favorite genre on P-Hub or P-Tube, X-Hamster, X-Video, Tube 8, Jerkmate. It sounds like I watch a lot of P's, but I really don't.
Trying not to come really hard because I like her. Fuck it, I want to give her a shot at it, you know? So
the LGBTQIA plus community has moved too far to the left.
Because, you know, I think what was once like a very loving and accepted community has pushed so far to the left that, you know, we're seeing this massive pendulum swing that is coming back the other direction that is going to put our entire community, unfortunately, in danger because—
It already has.
It already has, because it has gone so far to the left rather than being a good common sense middle ground that now people who did not used to carry a prejudice against us or have an issue with our community are suddenly finding themselves to have prejudice against the LGBTQ community.
She's absolutely right. I think that is the biggest issue that we've seen so far within society is that the advocates for the LGBT community back in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s has slowly shifted away from being an ally because the letters beyond B have kind of gone way too far and crossed the line because it deals with children. I cannot wait to hear what the other side has to say.
The discrimination from everyone, doesn't matter whether they're left or right or, you know, not part of the community, is not working for us. It's not working for me, at least. So what I'm saying is that because we are growing, if you want to include more people, because technically the lesbian flag has changed to an orange stripe for non-men, such as myself. I still identify as a lesbian.
I never would have thought that language would create such mental gymnastics to understand what they, them, it, we mean for an individual, a singular person.
Ask you how you identify as a lesbian when you're not a woman?
Because I'm a non-man. Because
that's a terrible definition, in my opinion, but.
Yes, it is a terrible definition. You see, Nasim reminds me of my 8-year-old who's still trying to figure out why she has to brush her teeth.
You guys are accepting more,
Absolutely.
everything like that. So where's the line then? Because then we have
There is
straight
no
people. So then why have a community if everybody's in the community?
If you self-identify in the community, then we're all there for each other. If you're straight and you identify as straight, you are not part of the community.
Wait, I thought you just said let's be all inclusive. Oh, okay, so it's only inclusive as long as you like to have sex with the same sex.
Like genuine curiosity, I'm trying to understand, because if a lesbian is no longer a woman who's sexually attracted to another woman, then a lesbian can be
Anybody.
anything.
A man.
Which is literally what's happening
Yes.
in the world right now.
That's the problem.
Like,
I'm telling you
I'm telling you right now.
Most likely, everybody in the world would love that. Everybody in the world would love to include everybody. But there's this thing called reality. And unfortunately, you cannot include everybody. It sounds great in cartoons and in La La Land. Everybody would get along. Everything would be fair. Everyone would be good looking. Everyone would be educated. Everybody would have money. Everybody would be successful. Do you see where I'm going?
There's been a lot of progress in the last few years, well, few decades, and there is definitely a backlash from the far right because of that. But I don't think the solution to that is to say, oh, let's go back and be less progressive. I think we just need to carry on, and there will be backlash, but eventually those people will just get used to it.
I'm sorry, it sounds really rude. English is also my second language. I really was not paying attention to what she was saying. I was really paying attention to the way she's dressed, the hair color. It reminds me of someone. I'm trying to put it together. The Joker, maybe?
I think one thing that separated us is that I think you often, and I'm not trying to just point out, but since I am the friend of yours, that I can no longer support you because you don't support me, right? If I'm explaining, right?
Okay.
Because I believe that when you use your voice, you were coming from a place of privilege.
God, it just had to be the black girl who was like this privileged shit.
Privilege without realizing that the things that you were sharing were negatively attacking me and my lifestyle. You are able to have privilege because you don't show up like I show up. You're not a woman of color. You're not masculine. So it's easy for you to say, oh yeah, this is okay, but you're not realizing that you're forgetting me and my existence and what I might need. We're under attack. LGBTQIA plus is under attack. We have 650 plus anti-LGBTQ bills attacking our existence.
Did she say 650 bills that are attacking the LGBTQ community?
A lot of y'all talk about, it's mostly attacking trans kids, which we all should be pissed. If anybody's attacking our kids, we should all be pissed. But 350 plus attacking the LGB, which y'all want to just emphasize and say everybody else doesn't count. It's this, but we are all being attacked. And so for you to not see that is privilege. And I think that I just really need you to understand that.
Okay, yep, I just looked it up on this little fancy laptop here. It says that so far in 2023, lawmakers in 46 states have introduced more than 650 anti-LGBTQ bills, according to a report by Movement Advancement Projects. Isn't MAP also for minor attractive person? Anyways, it's a think tank that researches LGBTQ issues. So I'm assuming this is the source that this individual is using.
The thing is, I think what you want to just battle with me instead of understanding.
So I literally had to stop this video simply to look up this MAP website and go through some of the stuff that they're talking about they're discriminating against. And you could choose by state. And clearly Florida, where I live in, was red, meaning they're extremely against LGBTQ. However, I live here, doesn't seem like it at all. But when you look through the website, you will see that it is extremely, extremely full of shit.
You are the most selfish person I've ever met in my
Slow
entire...
down. Think it over.
They count things such as this. They're using items such as second parent adoption for unmarried couples, confirmatory adoption, VAP, which by the way is just a voluntary agreement that the person who gave birth is signing it over to another individual who is not the parent. Actually look at line by line and look these things up and these laws that they're referring to. It's not discriminating against LGBTQ communities. A lot of stuff in the adoption part where they do seem to discriminate against LGBTQ couples, but there's also a reason why. Just do yourself a favor, look up some studies and look what happens sometimes when two males adopt a young child. So that's the reason why it's still currently somewhat of a gray area. Granted, this can also happen with a straight couple, but my point is, a lot of this stuff also applies to straight people, or cis people, cis people, that's like the new word.
The thing is, I think what you want to just battle with me instead of understanding that we just live differently. Our experiences are different. So all I'm asking y'all to do is understand that. I'm not trying to take away from you and whatever, but being able to be in that mindset without understanding somebody else's experience is privilege.
Oh my God, here's where it gets. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't understand how a lesbian can be conservative.
Nowadays, conservative is combined now with Republican in my eyes. And so when you're a Republican lesbian, you're against our community moving forward and progressing, and you're also aligning with the oppressor.
What don't you have that you need to progress further to get besides acceptance? Because that may never come.
Equality.
But what's not equal?
I'm going to say queer in general, the community don't have protections in certain areas, like where you live. You can't adopt, or you can get fired on the basis of your sexuality. The things are in place to protect that, but if it's still happening often, then that's why we need to progress to make our life and our lifestyle a norm so that we don't have to face discrimination.
I don't know about Amber, man. I feel like she's really stretching to find things. I feel like she's a black version of Karen, someone who's always just overly aware of things that doesn't exist.
I'm gonna jump in right here because we're not just looking at social issues whenever we're talking about conservatism versus leftism or right versus left. Yeah, social issues are absolutely a part of it. But then we're also looking at, okay, how are we taxed? How is the government spending our money? How much of our tax dollars are going overseas? How are our schools being run? How are our children being taken care of? Do you have a nice library in your town that you can visit? All of that can be traced back to your political leaning. And I think it's very important to understand my sexuality has nothing to do with the way I think the government should spend our taxes.
Bam! That's a mic drop right there, for real.
But I think that when we're talking about like being progressive versus being conservative, literally you want progress or you want to conserve the past.
What needs to be progressed?
Like
in our community.
There's so much prejudice.
But no law is going to change that. Whether you're Republican or liberal, that's not going to, a law is not going to change
that. We think about
that.
social movements and social issues across the board. We think about the acceptance of black people, of gay people. Like we think about how progressive movements have made us more comfortable in our identities in social spaces.
Okay, then there are movements. That has nothing to do with politics.
Can I give you an example?
No, God!
What we're asking is for equality so that us as humans are able to exist like everyone else, and that there's a equal ground here, like just respect. And that's what I'm saying is it's very necessary to put these protections in place so we can live like everyone else.
But we do live like everybody else. There's
You being able to say that is privilege.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not trying to.
Like I said, Jubilee does this to me. I'm like angry, happy, and laughing at the same time. Makes no sense.
You can walk down the street in Florida and be cool.
Because I'm femme, because I'm not like 100% femme. Like, where's the
I think that we should take a trip to Florida and see what it's really like.
Yeah.
What you hear and what you experience
Florida all the time, but
okay, then is anything
fine.
ever happened in Florida?
Those are very protected spaces that I'm in. And then when I do travel around, yes, I've gotten death threats. I've had to shut down events that I've done. I've had, people name me by telling me to pick out a coffin.
That's obviously not okay.
But then those people are in power,
okay.
is what we're kind of, sorry to cut you off, but those people are in power now.
Yeah.
Those people are deciding the future of our country, and that...
Democrats?
It takes an advanced sense of humor. I don't expect everybody to understand.
No, those people that are hateful, that are homophobic, that are transphobic, unfortunately, those people are becoming in power.
Okay, so certain things like abolishing affirmative action is a part of that process. So just because you weren't affected by it doesn't mean you're
It's not
affected by
about me. I don't care what. I don't know why it's.
But that's why I'm trying to get you to see.
I'm not a feelings person. I don't like laws change and all that based on feelings. I'm a facts
I'm a logical person too. But you don't understand. What you're not understanding is being able to have your frame of mind is a privilege. Period.
Wyclef over here is not understanding that they are really both arguing for their side of the aisle, yet they're both in the same space and they both don't like each other because one person's like, we are good, let's continue to move forward, where the other one is like, I am oppressed and I'm sad and so many of us are being targeted, don't know what to do.
You can have the front of mind too.
You're not thinking about anybody else that does not have the same privilege, that can walk like you walk, that has access like you have access.
How do you know
not
that?
Everybody knows.
How do you know that?
Because of the way you
don't know
think and
what
the way
I
you're
do.
talking.
You don't know anything about me.
I don't have to. It's the way
Okay,
you're
so
speaking
you
and your
can
way
call
that you're
me
able to
privileged.
not
You can put a label on me when you know
somebody
nothing
else's
about me.
experiences.
I
Because
include everybody's experience. I just said that
Absolutely,
multiple times.
you're not. When you
you're
think
thinking
of the
about
way you
yourself
think.
and your experience. That's privilege.
Exactly, I have
That's
to. I speak for a huge part of our community.
So do I.
Okay.
So do I.
I don't think so when you're trying to say that we have enough protections and enough equality where we are.
I just said
No, you're
what,
not talking
I
about
said
you're
what
speaking
don't
for all
we
of
have?
us.
I'm asking what don't we have?
Do you think that we do not deserve all the same rights as everyone else? And that we should not keep progressing to get that?
We have all the same rights as everyone else.
And that's privilege.
Okay.
I love Sasha. She's, dude. I mean, I keep forgetting I am married, right? And she is a lesbian, correct?
Gay men are more socially accepted than lesbians.
Bye, guys.
No, Sasha, no! No!
No! No!
You know, when you see two gay men out in the street holding hands, kissing, there's not a woman that's gonna be like, ooh, I'm gonna get in between that and I'm gonna, you know, but when it's the lesbian, that's what men do to us. So, no, that is less socially acceptable. If anything, a woman's like, oh, a gay man, let's be best friends, let me meet your partner, where guys are like, I wanna be your friend for ulterior motives.
I've been that guy this entire episode.
Yeah, so that's what we face. So that's a social in society. Also, with just spaces, there's like, at least where I'm from, there's like 10 bars on a street. They're all gay bars, which lesbians can go to. But there's one small little bar that's like lesbian only. It's like, I don't know. It's just yeah. Absolutely. How do you guys feel?
I agree with it. What you just said.
Yeah.
First time they had common ground.
That's actually a good
I think
point.
Me as a human, as an individual, I feel like everyone has, especially in our community, and the LGBTQIA plus community, has had experiences and like negative experiences and discriminations, all of that. But with me as part of what I do for a living, being in the political space, I see that specifically cis white gay male have it a lot easier than everyone else.
Damn it, Amber, I'm done.